We all know that after a spinal cord injury, individuals are paralyzed, but there are many neurological functions that are affected by a spinal cord injury. One of them, for example, is the control of the blood pressure. So this is in this video, Silviu, and when you verticalize him, so you put him upright, you see that there is a rapid drop in the blood pressure, and within 2 minutes, he will experience a syncope because there is no more control about the blood pressure to resist to the impact of gravity that pull the blood down. And this is due to the interruption of the projection from the rostral mediolateral medulla. This is a noradrenergic projection that innervates the sympathetic circuitry, which is located all over the spinal cord. And there have been observations that the stimulation could actually increase the blood pressure, which was a surprise to us because we knew that the stimulation activates the large diameter afferent fibers. And we know that to increase the blood pressure, you have to have vasoconstriction of the artery, which is regulated by neurons in the sympathetic ganglia. So we could not make the connection. We first asked, well, can we in animal model really visualize this robust activation of the neuron in the sympathetic ganglia when we apply the stimulation? So for this, we use simple CFOS activity, which is an activity-dependent marker, so immediate early gene. And you can see that indeed, when you apply epidural electrical stimulation, you have a really pronounced recruitment of these neurons. But through which circuits? So to deconstruct these circuits involved in the modulation of blood pressure, what we did is retrogradely trace neuron, which are called the presympathetic ganglionic neuron, in the spinal cord with a retrograde tracer. And then we use rabies to ask which neurons are connected with this preganglionic sympathetic neuron. And to our surprise, we found that a large number of these neurons that are actually connected with the large diameter afferent fibers are spinal cord VE62. So the same neuron that we know we manipulate with the stimulation and are responsible for the recovery of walking. So at this point, we had the underlying circuitry, and we can really deepen our scientific work to ask, where is the highest concentration of these circuits in order to optimize the way we position the electrode and stimulate. And what we found is that there is a distribution throughout the spinal cord in the density of the sympathetic preganglionic neurons, but the density is much, much higher in the last 3 thoracic segments. And indeed, you see this linear correlation between the density of this neuron and the pressure response, meaning the increase in blood pressure when we apply the stimulation. At this moment, we knew we could develop technology to increase blood pressure precisely. We validated all the work in rats, and to go fast, I will show you how we rapidly transited to non-human primate model. In this case, the animal receives a complete transection of the spinal cord. So this is an acute experiment. And we developed electrode array with electrode configuration that are optimized to target the dorsal root entry zone of the last 3 thoracic segments, which we know are the most responsive to the stimulation. The animal is in a negative pressure chamber, so it pulls the blood down. When we do so, you see in gray that the blood pressure goes down. Because of the lesion, there is no control over the blood pressure. And when we turn on the stimulation, the controller, in closed loop, will adjust the stimulation to reach the target. We turn it off, it goes down, up, down, up, down. And we can really have a precise control over the level of blood pressure. This is here, higher blood pressure. And this is effective for a very long time. In part of the video here, we accelerate the time, and you see we set the target to a high blood pressure level, and it will stay up, 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 up with this closed loop control of the stimulation. And as soon as we turn off the stimulation, blood pressure collapses. At this moment, Jocelyn felt that we were ready to transit to human. And this happened within only 2 years. Sylvio received an implant. So Jocelyn, in this case, put 2 electrode arrays because we really wanted to verify the location, that we had the correct topology to modulate the blood pressure regulation centers. So Jocelyn positioned this electrode, low thoracic spinal cord and lumbar region. And as early as the surgical operation, and cooperatively, it was very obvious that the blood pressure response was much stronger when we were targeted the last 3 thoracic segments of the spinal cord, just as we had observed in mice, rats, and non-human primates. And now Sylvio is using the stimulation in his daily life, but the best to show you the result of the stimulation is to ask Sylvio to come and to show you how we can increase the stimulation to ramp up the blood pressure in our participants. So this is Sylvio. How are you doing, Sylvio?
Very good.
So we're going to show you how we can increase the blood pressure. So this is resting blood pressure. So Sylvio lives with a very low level of blood pressure and hypotension. You see currently it's like around 90, 80 systolic blood pressure. And now we're going to increase the stimulation and gradually increase. And you will see how we will have a linear control over the amplitude of the blood pressure. So you see how we transited from about 80 systolic blood pressure to up to 140, which is more than what he would need in his daily life. So how much are you using the stimulation currently?
Every day, few hours, approximately between 6 and 9 hours every day.
Very good.
Yes.
Continue, and I hope we can
Of
integrate
course.
you in other clinical trials also in the future.
I'm fully available.
Thank you. I would like to conclude by thanking Walt Hurtley Barry for this opportunity to present the research that we are conducting at NeuroRestore, the center that I co-lead with Jocelyn Bloch. Thank you.
And I would also like to thank you first and to thank the rest of the team. It is very important, and our vision is to have people from very different backgrounds, engineers, doctors, physiotherapists, and all together we can lead so complicated, ambitious projects, and without this very important collaboration that it would not be possible.
We believe that it is a key for translational neuroscience. Thank you very much. We wish you a good conference.